Okay, so I did look again at the geometry because I was really unhappy with this idea of breaking this thing down to faces and then trying to take those faces, make them into surface. It seemed like it really added a lot of computational time. So I found a function that allows us to take a T-spline surface and transfer it to a B-rep. The idea is that we end up with one piece of solid geometry that comes out of it. So we take this T-spline surface. We have to answer this Boolean logic, and I answered it true. And we come up with a solid that can go right into direct shapes by geometry. So we really do not need these two. So I kind of left that whole discussion in just because I think that these are the same things that you would be going through in developing your own codes for these elements. Now I want to, once I'm pretty well happy with the way things are all getting visualized here, I'll go back and there's a little bit of a problem. Well, not necessarily a problem, but a visualization. If we look at the Revit document, I'm having a hard time getting this one to show up, so I'll just close this down. You'll notice there's things printing through. We see blue lines in this 3D view. So we're actually seeing the Dynamo nodes are still highlighted. So I'm going to go back now and turn off the highlights here. And I hate to turn this one off because it visualizes nice in Revit. Actually, we still have one coming up here. It's probably because this one is on, so I'm going to turn this one off also. And it tells us what other elements that we've got going on here. So we've got to the select face. I've already turned the preview off for. We'll turn the preview off for the diagrid, and we need to follow that all the way down through the whole process here. And you only want to do this once you're sure that you've gotten everything set up the way you're comfortable with. So we still have a nice tight little definition here. All the previews are off. I don't think direct shape by geometry would make any difference. And we go back to the Revit document. And the only thing I still have showing up is the mass. I'll click that, turn it back. I'm not exactly sure why I can't get control over that in that view. I have no problems in other views, but that view is particularly problematic. Anyway, so now it's relatively easy to go back and adjust both the shapes and the density of this kind of T-spline. The other thing I would encourage you, if you're interested in, is experimenting with the default radiuses and some of these other tolerances to see how you might be able to manipulate this shape. It's relatively quick the way we got to this definition, so there's plenty of time for your own personal development on this project. Other ways to think about your development or your creativity on this. Many ways this form could be articulated. Obviously, any creative manipulation of the base form would be interesting. The only problem is obviously the complication when there's a lot of divisions in it. So you can use a complex geometry and then work in the diagrid mode until you're happy with some kind of a layout or form, and then only then do you introduce the T-spline, just to save a little time on the computational issues that go along with that. So I'll put this together as a little presentation sheet and come back to discuss that and how you'll finish your project off.